There is a major difference between being a confident type A personality to get things done and being a rude a-hole. Rudeness is a weak man's imitation of strength. That's all that they have. Be strong so you don't have to be rude. There's a difference. During my career, I was sent to a call in which an individual's family was worried that he was going to be suicidal and was making some pretty threatening comments over the phone. So we get to the house. I have a rookie with me that day riding with me to train. And we get to the front door and it's slightly ajar. And as I look inside this door, I'm standing on this small concrete porch, which neither one of us can fit on by ourselves, but we're both squeezed onto. We're trying to stay out of the doorway. As you know all too well, it's not a good place to be. And I look inside and here's a gentleman who is very overweight, completely naked except for a pair of white underwear, drenched in sweat and clearly in some kind of psychotic break. He's racing around the living room, throwing things, screaming things that I can't understand. So I tried to make contact with him. I want to check on this. Something is clearly going wrong in this man's life and I want to help. That's what we're there for. He sees me and says that he's going to kill us. He runs into the kitchen where we can't see him anymore. And within split seconds, comes around the kitchen and he has a large knife in his hand. Well, now we've changed the dynamic of this situation. So unfortunately, I have to draw my weapon. I have to point in his direction and let him know this isn't how this is going to go. Please don't make me do this. Please don't advance and cause a deadly force situation. This is well before tasers, if that was even been an option. We don't quarterback things here. So here he is with a weapon in his hand, telling me he's going to kill me and starts to take steps towards me. For whatever reason, he decided this is not a good idea, and he drops the knife. To this day, I can still hear it clanging off the wooden floor that was underneath him as he dropped it. A little bit of relief from me as maybe this won't be a deadly situation. I can give him some help instead of having to stop this incident from happening in a deadly way. So I go to reholster my weapon. Well, any tier 1 or well-trained individual or well-trained law enforcement officer or marksmanship individual tell you should be able to reholster your weapon without looking. We train over that over and over and over again. So I go to do that, but because of how small this porch is, my elbow hits the rookie that's standing next to me and I get kind of jammed up. So for just what feels like a split second, I have to look down to reholster. Something's gone wrong. I've missed. The elbow hitting on him has kind of screwed up this path. So in that what feels like a split second, I look down, reholster, look back up. He's already made it all the way across the room, this individual. He hits me and he's got at least 250 to 300 pounds on me. He hits me with the linebacker hit that would be rivaled in anywhere except the NFL. And he and I both go flying off this tiny little porch. We land in the grass in front of his house and he's on top of me. He completely covers me now. He's completely drenched in sweat, which is just raining down upon me, making it hard to grab him. And to make matters worse, now that it's a physical situation, he actually takes his elbow and he puts it across my throat while I'm underneath him. He's effectively choking me. He's choking me. Whether he's trying to kill me, whether he doesn't know what he's doing, I don't know. But at this point, I'm starting to lose air. Well, fortunately for me, we've trained for this. This didn't have to immediately become a deadly force situation. And I'm thankful for that. Because we trained in this, because I was confident in what to do here, I was able to grab his elbow, grab his wrist, effect enough force to get it off of me because he was putting all his weight down on it. As I'm getting him off of me, which I had the confidence to do, thank goodness. Remember, confidence is just a byproduct of consistent implementation of doing the right things. You've got to train for this stuff just the way you have to train your mindset. So I get his arm off of me. My rookie, unfortunately, this was his first kind of big event to be in. And so I don't care how strong you think you are. This is a difficult thing to deal with, especially when it's the first time seeing something like this other than TV, which is where most of you make your decisions about law enforcement, by the way. So he takes out his OC spray, one of the tools that we had at the time, and he goes to spray this individual, try to take some of the fight out of him. OC spray makes it hard to breathe, makes it difficult to see, tends to take some of the fight out of you. Well, a couple of things that happen, one of which most law enforcement or people that have to be in disorders for a living will tell you, OC spray, it doesn't work that good. It gets everywhere. If you're in a psychotic rage, or you're moving out of anger. It doesn't work like it does in the academy or on TV. So those of you that think that's a regular solution, just sit down. Let us talk about what we know we're talking about. So unfortunately, he uses this, but he sprays the back of the suspect's head and my face. So now this is again going downhill pretty quickly. I can't breathe very well. He's got an arm on my throat, and I can't see very well. Well, fortunately, I was able to get him off of me, roll over, and effect the arrest. Was able to wrestle him into handcuffs, slippery, him screaming, me yelling commands, the rookie trying to yell commands and help me out. But either way, we finally get this guy handcuffed. And clearly, something mental health is going on here. I never got to speak to him a whole lot longer after that happened to follow up how things are going, because to be honest, I was physically hurt. I had hurt one of the vertebrae in my back. I'd hurt one of the muscles in my back. I'd hurt one of the discs in my back when he tackled me and we landed, and during the wrestling match. But the point of this is what I was able to do, because of the confidence that I have from training, which is the same confidence that you will build if you train your mindset the right way. When it comes to adversity, we never rise to our goals. We all want to be Denzel Washington or John Wick when the SHTF, right? But let's be honest. We don't train to fly across the room with gun in each hand, shooting while kicking the bad guy in the face. We don't rise to our goals in adversity. We fall to the strength of our system. I had good trainers in front of me. They had taught me how to raise my system when something like this happened so I could affect this and it didn't turn worse. And I'm very thankful that it didn't. I'd like to know where that guy is today, but I didn't get to follow up because I was physically injured and had to go to the hospital and get all that taken care of. But here's the other point that comes down to the rudeness being imitation of strength to the weak person. Is I think many people would understand that when a situation like that occurs and when you're assaulted like that, it's pretty easy to lose your cool. Thankfully, I had good teachers ahead of me. Thankfully, I had good trainers. Thankfully, I had experienced things like that, because, man, I wanted to lose my cool on this guy. Man, I wanted to tell him what I thought about him. But it wouldn't come across as teaching. It would have come across as a rude a-hole. He's already dealing with stuff. He doesn't need me to tell him what he's done. He doesn't need me to tell him what a bad place he's in right now and that he's going to jail after the hospital. He needs help. In most people's minds, I would have had every right to come unglued on this individual. For all effective purposes, he just twice tried to kill me. He tried to stab me, decided otherwise, tried to choke me to death, and decided otherwise. Anybody in that situation would have felt a lot of anger. Anybody in that situation at least would have felt the things that can easily lead to anger. And this is why we see people lose it after something happens. There were plenty of people that worked around me that thought, I can't believe you didn't come unglued on this guy. And I'm not saying I haven't. Calm down there. There's incidences out there I didn't get this right. But I wanted to learn from this experience. And I want you to be able to see this. I wanted to come unglued on him. And the reason I didn't is because rudeness is the imitation of strength to a weak person. Are you strong? Are you type A? Are you confident? Or are you a rude a-hole because you're actually weak? You've got to raise your system. You have to do the things to positively affect your mindset and raise your system. You have to raise the system through accountability. Is this something you need? Do you need to raise your discipline? Do you need to raise the person you are? Do you need to increase your follow through? This is what I do. It's because of lessons like this, I learned that you have to consistently, daily raise your system so that you don't have to be the rude weakling. If you need help with this, go to my website right now, www.theangryvikingtherapist.com, smash the red button. Let's get you moving in the right direction. You don't have to be angry all the time. You don't have to be a rude a-hole. That's just your weakness coming out. Those of you that message me on the daily saying, I'm sick and tired of acting this way to my family. I'm sick and tired of letting myself down. I'm sick and tired of letting my family down, and I will do anything to change it. You're the ones that I'm talking to, and you know if you're in that place or not. Go to my website, The Angry Viking Therapist, smash the red button, set up an opportunity to talk with me right now. I want to help you. This is what I do. Let's get you on the right track. Rudeness is the weak man's imitation of strength. Don't be weak. You're better than that.